Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It's time for Tip It Tuesdays. So, this week I want to talk about insurance and life change events. So, what a lot of people do not consider when they're going to have a life change event is how their health insurance is going to be affected. So, if you work for an employer and you're working for the same employer but maybe move somewhere else, you're probably not going to have a change in health insurance. But if you're planning on retiring before your Medicare age, if you're moving from a state to another state, sometimes if you're moving from zip code to zip code, getting married, getting divorced, having a baby, all those things are life change events that could affect your health insurance. And for people who have always had employer health insurance and now retiring early at 62, they're not eligible for Medicare to 65, they think, oh, I could just do Cobra. Well, they get the Cobra prices and they're in for sticker shock. Marketplace can be quite more expensive than what they were paying for an employer, too, because depending what the employer was doing for them, whether they were paying just the minimum or 50% of the employee portion, or they were paying more, these people that are retiring early are finding out, oh my gosh, I can't get a PPO on the marketplace. Cobra's very expensive, or I have a high deductible and their deductible is like $2,000, and I'm like, that's not a high deductible. 8,000 is a high deductible. So I'm finding I'm talking to more and more people that don't take that into consideration when they're planning a life change event, and it's super important to factor that in, especially if you're retiring early. I've talked to three people just this last week and a half that were retiring early and did not realize what their options were for health insurance outside of their employer. So that's something to consider. You can certainly plan for your retirement, but you have to look at what costs you can expect, whether you stick on Cobra or whether you choose to go to the marketplace, because some people do get a subsidy if their income is changing drastically. It could be a win for them. But being prepared is what's super important. And that's what most people I find are just not thinking about. The other big shocker usually is people that are moving from different states to Texas. Health plans in other states are very different than Texas. Every state is different. Health insurance is different from state to state. So in Texas, there are no PPO plans on the marketplace, on the open market. And a lot of people are surprised by that because they've come from a state that maybe had more options or had their own exchange, and all those things give people better choices. And Texas is not always the best choice in that. And they're often surprised when they find out how limited their choices are in Texas compared to the state that they were in previously. So if you're going to move to a different state, you need to find out what your healthcare plan choices are. I'm licensed in many states, not all the states, but I can quote and look at plans in all the states, unless even those states that have exchanges, I can look and see what plan options are available and at least give you that information so you can factor that in when making your choice of moving to a different state, or at least budget for whatever it is that's going to happen. A lot of the other thing that I see a lot is people who decide to leave an employer and become a 1099 employee or a contract employee. They think, I'm self-employed, are there better options? No, no. I've seen a lot of ads recently on Facebook for business owner insurance, no copays, choose your doctor, all these things. Well, red flags all over the place because one, it's probably not ACA compliant, which is fine as long as you understand that. But two, these are usually limited benefit plans. And I don't like that they have a picture of a Blue Cross Blue Shield card in the ad, and that's not actually what you're going to get. So be very wary of those ads or when you fill out the form, because then you're going to start getting a lot of phone calls and text and emails because they're trying to sell you a product. I actually try to solve a problem. So if you consult with me, I'm not going to harass you with phone calls. I'm not going to send you a billion texts or emails. We'll give you the information you need, and then maybe follow up once or twice just to make sure you receive the information I gave you, and then the ball's in your court. So I can't stress enough how important it is to plan if you're going to have a life change event. If you're unsure how it's going to affect you, book a time on my schedule and we can talk through it. Even if sticking with what you have is your best choice, I'll tell you that. Sometimes Cobra is the best choice for people, and I've seen that where I had a lady that had an awesome Cobra plan. She thought $550 was a lot for her plan, and come to find out, to do an individual plan for her was going to be double that and a lot less coverage. So I told her to stick with her Cobra for as long as she can. So I'll always give you the best honest advice for your situation because I want my clients to get the best coverage possible for their situation. So you can hop on over to my page, JCAP Consulting. You can book an appointment with me through there, or you can shoot me an email, janice@jcapconsulting.com. You can reach me there. And until next week, peace out.